Buckle up, I'm going to read fast. All right. Good evening. My name is Alicia Harris. I rise today because while I do not want to, I will strike for my rights and those of my fellow educators. I continue to hope I will not be forced to by you. Yesterday, the nation honored the life and legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. Many forget that King's life was taken from the world in Memphis, Tennessee, where his final audience was sanitation workers who were on strike. King understood the interconnectedness of workers' rights, civil rights, and human rights. He's quoted as saying, "The labor movement was a principal force that transformed misery and despair into hope." As I stand here today, being forced closer to strike than employees in Glendale have ever imagined ourselves, I must ask our board members if, like King, you still support labor. I do not ask facetiously or rhetorically. Like my colleagues, I am truly at a loss. I ask because it is no longer clear you stand for anything but a devotion to your employee, Dr. Ekstrian. I stress that Dr. Ekstrian is your employee. As community members who may have engaged in the last few meetings may not know that. It is confusing and disheartening to see and hear at previous meetings a lack of understanding of what is at stake in negotiations by school board members who have yielded all authority to Dr. Ekstrian. Aside from that being a complete dereliction of duty, I cannot for the life of me understand this. Dr. Ekstrian was a lead negotiator for LAUSD when UTLA crushed them. UTLA's strike in 2019 was one of the most successful strikes in contemporary history, and Dr. Ekstrian led the team to disgrace. Are what we are dealing with, is this payback? While GTA has dropped all remaining unagreed upon language items to come to agreement on this round of protracted negotiations, you continue to hold our salary increases hostage unless we undermine our own previously negotiated contractual rights. Board members, again, I ask you, are you pro Dr. Ekstrian or are you pro labor? Board members, you alone can end this. Take charge of your team. Send them to negotiations tomorrow with a directive to remove the language demands that would weaken our contractual rights. Ms. Nabedian, Mr. Sahaki, and Mrs. Friedman, you cannot truly in good conscience fancy yourself pro-labor Democrats and demand workers under your purview weaken their contract based on absolutely no operational imperative. Do the right thing. Take back the reins of authority. Do not force us to strike.
Only to be accurate, and Ms. Gunnell knows that I was not the chief labor negotiator in 2019 in LAUSD. I was the chief labor negotiator in 2013. So since 2013, I had a variety of roles, but I was not the chief labor negotiator. I certainly understand that public comment is very important, and I always listen accurately, but I also have to put the record straight that I wasn't.